Hey, welcome to Tabletop Skirmish Games. I'm Lee, and in this video we'll be going through the new kill team rules for the Hunter Clade that was included in the recent September issue of White Dwarf. In the previous video, I did a full review of issue 468 of White Dwarf magazine, but in this video, we're going to just look at the kill team information for the Hunter Clade and go through it in loads of detail. I'll also compare it to the information you can find in the Octarius book set and the Compendium, so you can see the difference. Right, here we go. So I've got issue 468 of the White Dwarf magazine, and this is the subscription version, so you get the full cover art on the front there. And then I've got the Octarius book as well, because I just want to make some comparisons with the type of information they include in this supplement book. And I've got the Compendium, so we can directly compare the Hunter Clade information in White Dwarf to the Hunter Clade information we already got in the Compendium. So in the White Dwarf magazine, from page 52 onwards, we're getting lots of information here for kill team. We're getting a little bit of narrative to read through, and we're getting all the data cards for the Hunter Clade, as well as the strategic and tactical ploys. And then after that, it continues through equipment, right through to spec ops, strategic assets, and then it goes into a really great battle report. So if you want to check that battle report, that's all included in this one too. But we're only going to really look at the information for the Hunter Clade here in this video. So from page 52 to 73, you're going to find out all this new information that we didn't get in the Compendium. And here's the Octarius supplement book. And if you've got the Octarius box set, you'll know that for the two different kill teams, the Krieg and the Orcs, you get names and demeanor tables, also base of operations, background, squad quirks, things like that. So you get all these tables included, so it really helps you to flesh out your kill team and really personalize it. Now, you don't have to use these tables. You can call them anything you like, give them any background you like as well, so it's entirely up to you. But what they've done in the White Dwarf magazine is they've included the names and demeanors now for the Hunter Clade. So this is really great. So if you're into the tables and you want to use the backgrounds they provided, then that's all in here. And this is a really great kind of thing to see, because this is going to give us an indication of what they might be doing in the future for all of the different kill teams. So I'm really liking this. Now if I grab the Compendium, and if we go to page 43, this is where the Adeptus Mechanicus starts, and here's our Forge World kill team. So we get totally different options, which we'll go through in a second. But included in here, you won't see any of the names or demeanor tables. Basically, you go from one faction straight into the next one, and then you get the kill team options, and then you get your fire teams, and then you get all the data cards, and then you get your strategic ploys, tactical ploys, equipment, and then it goes straight on to the next faction. So that's all you're going to get in the Compendium book. And so this is much more in line with that book we saw for Octarius. So you're going to get a lot more information now and really flesh out these kill teams. So this is great news if you like playing Adeptus Mechanicus. It really builds on the information you've got in here, and you can put together a completely different setup. And then we'll flick through. I'll just skip over this little bit of like fiction to read through, and then we go into the introduction to what this is all about, the Hunter Clade team, and then exactly what we're going to see. Now I've opened up the Compendium to show us the Forge World kill team and fire team options, and here's the Hunter Clade kill team in the White Dwarf magazine. So here you can see you get a Forge World kill team consists of two fire teams selected from the following list. So you could choose Skitarii Ranger, Vanguard, or Sicarian. Now you can pick from these two, and then the Sicarian on the back here to make up your fire team. So you can pick two of them. So I'm pretty sure you can have two Skitarii Ranger fire teams if you want, two Vanguard fire teams, or two Sicarian, or mix it up and have just one of one and then one of another. So that's the option you've got here. But in the White Dwarf one, for the Hunter Clade team, you can include just this one from here. So you get one Hunter Clade operative selected from the following list. So that would be like your sergeant or your leader. And then you pick 9 Hunter Clade operatives from this list. So this is giving you pretty much the variety of options that are in here, but you can put them all into one kill team. So rather than building up different fire teams of the groups of them, you can just have 10 straight up here. And we'll go through the data cards and compare those as well. But this is the first major difference here. So I think this is much more appealing to me, being able to just build one fire team from these 10 different operatives altogether. I think that's really cool, and much more in line with what we saw in the Octarius book with the Orcs and the Krieg. Now we've got the White Dwarf page here, page 60, that includes the ability, and this is the common ability for all the members of the Hunter Clade. And so we've got everything written down here, but in the compendium we don't get any of those abilities. That's not included, so that's another bonus that you're going to get from the White Dwarf article. You've also got completely different strategic ploys and tactical ploys in White Dwarf for the Hunter Clade than you have for the Forge World kill team in the compendium. So again, all these are different. They're not repeated here. Completely different ploys for both strategic and tactical ploys. And then even with equipment, completely different equipment for the Hunter Clade than the Forge World kill team as well. So lots to read through here and look at it. And I think this is really great if you're into playing the Forge World and you like the different miniatures that come with the Adeptus Mechanicus. You can also take those and employ them into the Hunter Clade kill team, giving you lots of options. So yeah, if you've got a nice collection of Adeptus Mechanicus, this is going to be awesome for you because you've got lots of different ways to play them. But I think this is really what you need if you want to start playing them in some kind of narrative campaign. Let's look at the data cards next. And here in the compendium, you're going to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that's just 10 different operatives and 10 different data cards. Whereas in the White Dwarf magazine, you're going to get 14 different operatives and 14 different data cards. So you can see you get a lot more here and a lot more options to use with your models. So again, for an Adeptus Mechanicus player, I think this is really great. Really opens it up. Now some of these cards are going to be the same, but some have got different stats. So let me just show you an example of that. So on the left here, we've got the data card from White Dwarf, and on the right, the data card from the compendium. And you can see we've got the same title for each one, and then the movement's the same, the APL, the group activation, defense, save, and wounds. They're all exactly the same. And then as we look at the weapons, you can see we've got our weapons all listed. And again, the weapon names exactly the same for the number of attacks. All those numbers are the same as well. Our BS and WS, that looks like it's exactly the same too. But once we move over to damage, this is where it changes a little bit. So as soon as we get down to this one, the transuranic arquebus, then the damage is 5-3, where over here in the compendium book is 5-4. So that's changed a little bit. The special rules are the same, and so are these mortal wounds as well. So that stayed exactly the same, but the only difference is just that one change there. So it's gone from a 4 to a 3. So I guess if you're going to continue to play the Forge World kill team, just stick with the data cards in here. But obviously if you were playing the Hunter Clade, then you've got the updated stats here. So I'm not sure if these are going to supersede the operatives in there. I wouldn't have thought so because it's a completely different kill team. So I would just stick to that for Forge World if it was me, and I would stick to the stats in here if it was the Hunter Clade. I wouldn't sort of cross them over, so I would just stick to how they've been laid out here. But I might be wrong on that, but I think that's how I'm going to do it. So that's pretty much everything you're going to find in the compendium book, and that's where the kind of differences are going to stop. So let's put the compendium book to one side, and now we'll just focus the rest of the video on the White Dwarf magazine. So once we've gone through all our data cards, we can then move on and look at the TAC Ops and the Hunter Clade Special Ops rules, strategic assets, requisitions, and some more there. So this is where we're starting to move now on to information that you wouldn't find in the compendium, but you would find this in the Octarius supplement book for the Orc and Krieg. So now we're really starting to see this format being used on more kill teams, and it's all this information that's going to be great when we start playing our narrative campaign. So let's start at the top with TAC Ops, and if your faction is the Hunter Clade, it tells us here we can use our TAC Ops listed below as specified in the mission sequence. So now I've had to grab another book, which is the core book, and the mission sequence for the narrative play is here. So in step 8 we would select our TAC Ops. Now I'm going to do a video on the narrative play real soon. I've done the rule series up to 10, so I've gone through all the basic rules, and the next 3 videos will be the different ways to play. So it's open, match play, and narrative play. So this video will be up really soon, going through exactly how to play the narrative play version of the game. But this is where, or the point, I should say, at the point in which the mission sequence allows you to choose or select your tac ops. So that's where it fits into the game. And these are the different tac ops now for your faction. So this is really going to help you for that narrative play. I'm not going to read through these. I think this is great for you to get and read through yourself. So I'm just going to point out when you would use those. Then we've got some Hunter Clade Spec Op rules, and here it tells us we're going to find a selection of rules for Spec Op campaigns in which you've selected the Hunter Clade as your faction keyword. So with Spec Ops we need to grab the core book again. So I've got that core book one more time, and now I'm on page 110, where it tells us that a Spec Ops is a campaign objective you must achieve over multiple games, and by completing its operations across a series of missions, your kill team will further the goals of their faction and be commended for their exploits. And so each player determines their own Spec Op and therefore works to achieve their campaign objective individually. And included with these Spec Op rules, you've also got battle honours, and so your operatives are going to gain battle honours in the form of experience, and then they've also got these different specialisms where you can choose from a D6 what those battle honours are going to be. But in the White Dwarf article, you've got this other option, the Hunter Clade Specialist, to choose from instead if you want to. And then finally, you've got your rare equipment, you've got strategic assets and requisitions, and then you've also got some Spec Ops here. So each time you select that Spec Op for your kill team, if you're the Hunter Clade faction, you can select one from the list below instead of selecting from another source. So these are specific to them as well. So that's pretty much everything you're going to get in the White Dwarf magazine now to be able to use this new kill team called Hunter Clade. And this all ties in with the narrative campaign play, which again I'll be going through that in a separate video really soon, because there's a lot of rules for that. Even though the rules for the game are pretty straightforward and pretty simple, there's quite a lot of rules for narrative play. But I think it's really fun and really worth learning, so that video will be up over the next few days for you to check out if you'd like to. I hope this video has served as a good overview just to show you what's included in the White Dwarf magazine for Kill Team now, and for the Hunter Clade Kill Team specifically. So if you wanted to get the magazine, you know exactly what to expect from it. I think it's really good, and a really good now idea of what they're going to be doing in the future, what we can expect from more supplement books like the Octarius book. The layout here is very similar to this, so I think that's really good now, and I hope they keep doing this either in the White Dwarf magazine preferably, or even on the Warhammer community site where you can get it as a PDF. I'd prefer to have it in print straight up like this, but if we could get a PDF, I'm sure they'll do that as time goes on, then that would be great too. We can just print it off if we want to, or just play from our phones or iPads or whatever. So there we go, that's all the information. But also in this is the bat report, so that's a really good resource, especially if you're new to playing the game, like I guess we all are with Octarius. And so this is a really good breakdown of the battle, and it's also going to explain like what they're doing, why they're doing it, and the impact that has. And there's quite a lot of pages here, a really in-depth battle report for sure. And I think these two things alone have made White Dwarf September issue really good value. So I'm really happy with what's included here. Obviously, if you're not into Kill Team or Warhammer 40,000, this might not be the best issue for you, but it is up on the channel, the full review video I've done for this, if you'd like to check that out too. Let me know what you think about this article in the White Dwarf magazine, and any questions you got, add them below. I'll do my best to answer. I might not have the answers, but I'll give it a shot for sure. And I really hope you enjoyed the video, and thank you so much for watching. Please like if you like it, subscribe for more videos like this, and don't forget to hit the notification bell to join me next time on Tabletop Skirmish Games. If you like this kind of content and would like to support the channel, then please check out my Patreon page, and thanks to everyone who's joined so far. It's really awesome. We hang out on Discord, talk about the hobby, share ideas and help each other out, and you'll get some perks there that you're not going to find anywhere else. So I'll put a link in the description, and it'll be great to see you there.